Hey, it's time for TV Skywriter. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to TV Skywriter. I'm Pat Murray, your host. I ordinarily publish the Durham Skywriter, that's Durham, North Carolina's online community paper. And right now with TV Skywriter, I'd like to introduce you to people that I think you should know. As you know, half of my guests are usually local and half are from somewhere else. But today we're dealing with something very local indeed with our guest, Jessica Hulick. Welcome to the show, Jessica.
Hi.
Very happy to have you here. Now, I was familiar with your name because every month in the Durham Skywriter, I list the social justice story time. And yes, you are the founder, right? How did you start that anyway?
I was reading an article from the Standing Up for Racial Justice, and they recommended doing racial justice story time. And so I just thought, let's do racial justice and homophobia and immigration and differently abled people. And so we just expanded it to all of these different topics. And I got a couple of moms involved and it sort of just took off.
It's really nice. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't it, now it's usually held at Citywell Church here in Durham, but it expanded, right, to Hillsborough? I've noticed that.
Yes, we had one today at the JCC. We have one in Carborough. We're expanding to Raleigh, and we are in the community and schools after school programs, which is really great.
That's awesome. Now, I don't want to embarrass you at all, but I have noticed that sometimes, like on Facebook, you do ask for donations. So I don't want to put you on the spot. I assume this takes money and manpower, or woman power, I should say. I didn't know you were in Carborough. So give us the spiel. Tell us what we should know about story time, or rather social justice story time. And I don't mind at all if you ask us to donate. So go ahead.
Yes, we would love donations. We need money for books and supplies. We have a craft project every month, and we run out of paper and glue. We are always building our library. We have about 70 books right now, but we have 200 on the list that we'd like to buy. And so we would love donations for sure.
Oh, okay, and I will give your contact information in the description of this show. So the way it works is, I suppose someone reads to the children from an approved book dealing with whatever subject you're tackling. For example, you said racial justice or
right,
gender equality.
Yeah. So last month our topic was Martin Luther King and nonviolence. So we read some books about Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi, and talking to kids about not hitting and using their words instead of their fists. And it was a good month. It was a good month.
Wonderful. I'm just curious because I haven't gone to one of your social justice story times. Do you have a nice mix of kids?
Yes, for sure. And it started in Durham. So Durham is a very diverse place. So we definitely have a diverse mix of kids.
Awesome. I have to ask you this. I know you're a mom. So does Durham have a bullying problem? I hear about bullying so much when I watch videos and watch the news from around the country.
I think everywhere has a bullying problem. My daughter is only in kindergarten and my son is only 3. And there haven't been any issues at her school with her, but I know that, it's a problem everywhere.
I tend not to think of Durham as being a place that could be the home of someone who would be a bully to other kids.
I know.
We're so diverse and tolerant, but nobody's perfect, I guess.
That's true.
Yeah. Now, I actually wanted you to come on the show. I wanted to definitely talk about social justice story time because I think it's super awesome. But
thank you.
But I also wanted to talk about a meeting that happened yesterday. In response to the Parkland shooting in Florida, there was a meeting yesterday. And I couldn't go because I had to work last night. I'm also a DJ. So I hated to miss it. But I contacted you and I said, please tell me what happened. So if you could give us a bit of a rundown. And in fact, some people might say, well, why are they talking in North Carolina about something that happened in Florida? So why don't you answer that question?
So I am the co-chapter leader of Moms Demand Action for North Carolina. We are a national organization. We have chapters in all 50 states. We have 250 local groups in cities all across the country. We have 9 groups in North Carolina, 5 in the Triangle. And so we actually in Durham had our normal monthly meeting on Tuesday before the shooting. And then on Wednesday, after the shooting, in the parents groups that I'm in, parents were talking about it and wanted to get involved and were really motivated and upset and angry. And so the Durham team pulled together a meeting for Saturday, and we had 66 people show up to the meeting, and most of them were brand new volunteers, which was really exciting. We have a meeting tonight in Orange County and a meeting tomorrow in Raleigh. And those meetings, the RSVPs for those meetings have blown up. It has that, and that's happening all across the country. I've talked to lots of people in other states, and they're getting huge responses. And you know, it's wonderful to have all of these people so motivated to get involved, although it's tragic that, you know, it happens because something horrible has happened. Right. But we are ready and prepared to pull them all into our movement and have stuff for them to do.
Now, again, this was totally tragic.
Totally tragic.
I'm hearing feedback. I apologize for that. But anyway, I thought with Sandy Hook that would have done it. In other words, that would have caused this huge, you know, this surge of people who are calling for what you say is common sense gun legislation. Mm-hmm. And it didn't happen. You pointed out this afternoon when we were talking on the phone, you said something very, very important, and that is these were older kids who are media and social media savvy, and we're hearing their voices, and that's the difference. Now, for me, the difference was, I was sent 2 clips of footage, a young person who was right there. I mean, right there.
Right.
It was harrowing. They were screaming. You could see the smoke from the gun. I mean, they were right there in the room. You could see the fallen people anyway, I've never seen anything like that in my life. With Sandy Hook and the other, you saw you always see the kids with their hands raised, but I've never figuratively been in the same room. It was just too much. For me, that did it. And I think for some people, that brought it home. I mean, how can a child possibly go through something like that?
Right. It's awful. And our children shouldn't have to go through that. They should be safe in their schools.
Absolutely.
And I think it's also the voice of those teenagers that are talking now, that they're going to be heard. They demand to be safe, and they're not going to let this, politicians love to say it's too soon to talk about it after a tragedy, but it's never too soon to talk about it. We need to talk about it all the time.
So what do you want us to do as citizens, and what do you think is going to happen? Because I think this is the best time to pounce on this and take care of this, and get the semi-automatic weapons off the streets, or at least make it so that people can't make purchases in the future.
Well, Moms Demand Action has been working on this for 5 years. We have research-based strategies that are working across the country. We focus on background checks and permitless carry and keeping guns out of the hands of domestic abusers, and keeping guns off campuses, campus carry. And there's been a lot of talk in the last couple of days about having teachers being armed. And obviously that's something that we want to stop as well. So we do not want guns on school grounds.
Does that sound as ludicrous to you as it does to me? I
Well,
mean,
it is ludicrous to me, but also it's completely illogical because those teachers don't want guns, and even if they did, there is so much room for error in that idea,
exactly.
that we're gonna fight that.
To me, okay, my mom was a kindergarten teacher. So to me, the type of person who teaches young children isn't going to be the type of person who can readily shoot someone. Now, I'm just speaking for what I know of my mom, and my aunt was a teacher, and all the other teachers that I've known.
Right,
Maybe there are teachers who are cut from different cloths that I don't know. But it's just
right.
common sense to me that the type of person who's tender enough to teach young children can't just whip out a gun and just shoot someone. That's to me, that's just
Right.
it's
Well, a friend
ridiculous.
of mine who is a teacher and he's also a Republican said the other day that he has so much responsibility as a teacher. He does not want the responsibility of also having a weapon, like the teachers don't want that.
Yeah, yeah. So how can we get involved?
Well, so I can give you some links and you can sign up. You can also text ACT, ACT, to 64433, which will get you into our database. And then someone will call you and connect you to the local group in your area.
Okay,
And then
repeat.
once you,
Can you repeat that number again?
it's 64433.
Okay. Okay.
And so then once you're connected to our organization, there are tons of things that you can do to get involved. We have a Gun Sense Action Network, which is a group of people that call everyone across the country. From your home, you can make phone calls and welcome people to our organization and connect them to the people they need to be connected to. And so you can make phone calls. You can be part of our hustling team, and hustling is a texting app that we use to text people. And I love the hustling app. I'm a big fan of the hustle. And so, just tonight I texted 200 people
Wow.
across the country and got them connected to their local groups. And
Nice.
so people are doing that all over the country. We also have a new campaign that has just come out this week that's called Throw Them Out. And that campaign is because we think that changing the laws is how we can make a difference. And so we ask people to be committed to vote for gun sense candidates and to follow the money from the NRA. So if your congressperson or representative has taken money from the NRA, you can go to this link and find out how much. And then we also ask people if they want to run for office. We are certainly ready to support those people and give them training and
Wow.
get people in office.
I like that. You even have training.
Yes, we have a ton of training for our volunteers. We have all the training you could possibly want. It's wonderful. We have an
Wow.
online system that we use. So you
Okay.
can, instead of binging on Netflix at night, you can, learn how to be a spokesperson online.
Nice. Now, this is a foolish question, but I honestly don't know how long things take to take hold and change. How long do you think it would take to change legislation so that people can't get their hands on these ridiculously horrendous semi-automatic weapons?
Well, it depends on the state. So in some states, we have made huge progress in changing laws and making more protections for people. In other states, it's much more difficult. So, we just continue to work on it all the time.
Okay, you might as well grab the momentum now, get started, and keep at it. In other words,
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean, we are plugging all of these people in that have, that are so motivated right now. which is great. And we are so excited to have them with us. But we're staying the course. We know what works. We've made a lot of, we've had a lot of accomplishments in the last 5 years. We have won in states that people never thought we could win in. And so, we are still doing all of those things, and we're going to keep doing all of those things. We are supporting things like the March on Washington that has come out today, on March 24th. Moms partners with that with the organization, and we certainly support we have another campaign that we just started called Students Demand Action, because we heard from students that they wanted their voices heard. So you can also text students to 64433, and anybody over the age of 13, and they can be also plugged into our Students Demand Action campaign. So there's a lot.
For those who want to join Moms Demand Action, do you have to be a mom? Because I'm not a mom, but I'd like to join and help.
No, that is a question that we get all the time. And our founder, Shannon Watts, she was a mom, and she just started a Facebook page in her kitchen after Sandy Hook. And it was sort of modeled after Mothers Against Drunk Driving, because mothers get stuff done. And so that's where the name comes from, but everyone is welcome, whether you have children or you don't have children, or you're male or female or non-binary or anything. Everyone is welcome.
Oh, good. Okay. So I think it's really important for those of us who are concerned with this issue. I know a lot of people are just sort of trying to figure out what to do next. Yeah. So I guess the smart thing would be to at least connect with and learn about an organization that's already doing the work.
Yes.
And then to lend a hand with them instead of just trying to start from scratch and just wander around trying to figure out what to do. I think it's a smart tactic.
Yeah.
I saw something on your website called the Gun Law Navigator. Tell us about that.
So if you plug in your state, then you can figure out what the laws are, because the laws in every state are different. They're very confusing, and so you can go there to learn about the laws in each state. And there is also there's also federal legislation that is happening right now and has been happening for the last couple of months, called Conceal Carry Reciprocity, which means that so the law in one state may not be the same in another state, and so the least restrictive law would be you could carry over state lines and have not have to follow the law of the state that you were in.
Oh no, I don't like that at all.
Right. So even if your state has good gun laws, then you could follow the law of another state, right?
Oh no.
So we're trying to stop that in the federal legislation for that.
Gee whiz. There's so much to learn. And for most of us, this is going to be the first time that we'll be getting involved in something like this. And I think now's the time, so to speak. So
yeah.
So I really appreciate your coming on TV Skywriter almost at the last minute. I did call you this afternoon.
That's okay.
And I really appreciate it. So in closing, can you just tell us again how to find information, how to connect with Moms Demand Action? And do you know of any other groups that are doing similar work, or do you want to just concentrate on us connecting with Moms Demand Action?
In North Carolina, we work closely with Moms Rising, which does a lot of great work, and also in gun violence prevention. And then we also work with the North Carolinians Against Gun Violence, which is another organization here. And another organization that is really great is the Sandy Hook Promise. And so, and part of Moms is a program called the Be Smart campaign, which is basically a program where we talk to people about gun owners, mostly, who how their weapons are secured. So is your weapon secured in your home? Is it locked up where your children cannot get to it? We ask them to model responsible behavior. And then we also talk to people about asking people, like when your children go on a play date, you're going to let them go into a house and you'll probably ask them if they have a pool or if there are any other safety issues. You need to also ask them if they have a gun and if it is safely secured in the house.
Wow.
And so we do that presentation. We'll come to any organization and give you the presentation. We'll teach you how to give the presentation to other people. And we also have a campaign in North Carolina where we are trying to get our Be Smart posters in all of the pediatrician offices in North Carolina. It's a big, lofty goal, but we feel like we can do it. That, that when you're going in for a well check, your doctor says, do you have any weapons in your home? We want to encourage them to tell them then how they should be safely stored.
Wow. Isn't that sad that a doctor would even have to deal with that? But
yeah,
but there it is. So thank you so much, Jessica.
So all of that to say, if you text ACT to 64433, we will plug you in.
Awesome. And I think we need to do that. Seriously. I recommend everyone at least check it out. Because now's the time. Now's the time to do this. I don't know how many more shootings we need to survive in order to get this taken care of. Because isn't it true that now I know some people say it's not the guns, it's the people, and they'd find something else if they couldn't get their hands on a gun. I did hear that in China, there's a big problem with school stabbings, which I think is a little weird. I didn't know other countries. I didn't know so many people were upset, and certainly not at school. But at least this sounds like this is terrible to say, but I'm just saying with a knife, you're not going to kill 50 people.
17 people.
Yeah,
right.
or however many.
Right.
I'll just leave it at that. And if you want to argue with that with someone, go ahead. But I really think that yes, guns are the problem. The people with the guns are the problem, but the guns, yes, definitely. If you're using a gun, do people really need military grade weapons?
Right.
No. I don't think anybody could ever convince me that they need a military grade weapon. I don't think anybody could. It just sounds so ludicrous. So hopefully we can take care of that. So
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks again. Say hello to your kids. I know that they're probably, is it bedtime yet? 7:20.
Oh yeah, they've been beating down the door while I've been in here. I had to lock them out.
Oh no. Well, kiss and hug them. And
okay.
I will talk to you later. We'll be talking definitely off camera.
Okay, great.
So that's Jessica Hulick from Moms Demand Action. So be sure to do as she says, call that number, or rather make that text, get connected, and let's take care of this. Have a beautiful day. Be sure to read Durham, North Carolina's online community paper, the Durham Skywriter. That's at durhamskywriter.com. If you're not from Durham, that's fine. Just be sure to watch TV Skywriter. If you want to be a guest, just contact me on Twitter at Durham Skywriter. If you've written a book, naturally, I'd like to get a copy before the interview, and we can talk about that. Just contact me and let's talk and get you on the show. With that, have a beautiful evening or morning or whatever. I'll talk to you soon. Ciao for now.